Chapter 12 Chen Family Courtyard. Chen she just came home, and before she could change her slippers, Joe Yuckly came to her angrily and asked, "That trash went to the company today." "Mom, I'm already very tired. Please don't bother me anymore, okay?" Chen she looked helpless. Yang Chen took over the impossible task for her, which has already made her devastated, and really doesn't want to worry about other things. "When is it? Are you still like this?" Joe Yuckly's face was full of anxiety. "I heard all about it, at the Chen family's weekly meeting. Your grandfather asked you to either marry Wang Jian, or find a way to win the cooperation of Yanjin Group, or we will be expelled from Chen." "Oh, that bastard agreed for you. He is a brainless bastard. Are you too? Why didn't you choose to marry Wang Jian?" Chen Ziben had been running for a day on this matter, looking for connections, but in the end, he didn't even enter the gate of Yanjin Group. It was already annoying enough. He didn't expect Joe Yuckly to talk about it again just after returning home. "Mom, I beg you, don't say any more, okay? I was bullied in the company, and I was bullied when I went to talk about cooperation. Are you going to toss me when I go home?" Jin Zihong said with eyes. The suppressed emotions made her it feels like it's going to collapse. "My daughter has suffered enough grievances. After finally returning home, you should stop pestering her." Jin Daong, who was sitting on the sofa reading the newspaper, put down the newspaper at this time and said helplessly. Joe Yuckly rushed in front of Jin Daong, put his hands on his hips, and said angrily, "Joe Daong, do you know what task she has taken over? Cooperating with the Yanjin Group is simply an impossible task. If it goes on like this, in 3 days, we will be kicked out by the Chen family. I'm back." At this moment, a cheerful voice sounded, and then Chen Yi entered the room with a happy face. "Good news for everyone." As soon as she entered the room, she felt that the atmosphere was very wrong. The angry mother, the helpless father, and the desperate Chen Shi. Is that so? The delicate Chen Yi first walked to Chen Shi's side, took her hand and asked, "Sister, are you all right?" Chen Shi just shook his head gently. "Yi, help me pick up Xiao Xiao later. I'll go back to the room first." "What good news can you have? Your sister has taken over the task of cooperating with the Yanjin Group. If we can't complete it, we will be expelled from the Chen family." After a splash, Joe Yuckly's mood stabilized a lot, looking at the back of Chen Shi leaving elder sister. Hearing Joe Yuckly's words, Chen Yi was instantly overjoyed, hurriedly caught up with Chen Shi who was about to leave, and said happily, "Sister, I will help you with the cooperation. After all, I am also a member of Yanjin Group now." La. Chen Shi, who was still looking desperate just now, suddenly had a look in his eyes, and grabbed Chen Yi's arms excitedly. "Yi, are you really hired by Yanjin Group?" Just after asking the sentence, Chen Shi's expression darkened, and he shook his head bitterly. "Even if you are really hired, you are also a new employee and can't help me." Chen Yi suddenly felt a little guilty, but looking at her sister's appearance, she looked distressed, but still said with a firm look, "Sister, trust me, there is absolutely no problem. My best friend Sun Tian is now a member of the Yanjin Group. Supervisor, she has a very good relationship with the company's top management. I will ask her for help, and I will definitely win the cooperation." "Great. Thank you, Yi." Chen Shi's eyes were red, and after worrying about this for a whole day, she finally got a piece of good news. Chen Yi rolled his eyes and said angrily, "Tell me thank you." After she finished speaking, she turned to look at Joe Yuckly who was happy. "Mom, I will help my sister to handle this matter. She has worked hard all day, so please stop shouting." Joe Yuckly said a few words of good in a row, as expected of my daughter. First the betrothal gift was sent by the Su family, the richest man in Zhangzhou, and now he has joined the Yanjin Group. I think who will dare to look down on us in the future? I'm going to pick up a smile." Chen Yi smiled proudly, turned to leave. The roar of the engine sounded, and the white Maserati disappeared at the end of the road. Yanjin Group Zhangzhou branch, on the top floor. Ludo Bin stood in front of Yang Chen tremblingly, and reported in detail the recent preparations for the branch office. Yang Chen is sitting on an office chair, holding a document in his hand. Chairman, there are many companies that are interested in cooperating with Yanchen Group. The list in your hand is a few powerful companies that I have deliberately picked out. You can think about which ones you want to choose as our company. Partner. Ludo Bin said cautiously. Yang Chen just glanced at it roughly. They were basically famous companies in Zhangzhou. Include the Qin family Sanhe Group. Other partners, you decide. Yang Chen casually threw the list to Ludo Bin. Hearing the Qin family, Ludo Bin hesitated a little, but still asked, Chairman, the Qin family is not even a second-rate family, this Sanhe Group. My wife's name is Qin Shi. Before Ludo Bin could finish speaking, Yang Chen responded directly. Ludo Bin was surprised, and suddenly panicked. Chairman, I'm sorry, I didn't know that Miss Jean was your wife. She came to the company to find me several times today, but I didn't see her. Speaking of the latter, Ludo Bin felt very guilty. Yang Chen was not angry. You go to Sanhe Group in person tomorrow to deliver the contract, but no one is allowed to know my identity, understand? Ludo Bin wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and quickly responded. Yang Chen raised his hand and glanced at the time. At this point, it should be the end of kindergarten time, right? He said, got up and left. Blue Sky Kindergarten. A white Maserati stopped at the entrance of the kindergarten, and then two long slender legs appeared, and then got out of the car. This stunning woman who attracted countless eyes was naturally Qin Yi, with a faint smile on her face, her long hair flying in the wind. She didn't care about other people's eyes, and walked into the kindergarten. Until then, many men realized that this beautiful woman was already a woman, and her face was full of disappointment. At this time, it was the peak period for picking up children, and the kindergarten teachers simply did not care about all the children. Qin Yi searched for a while before she found Xiaoxiu's voice. A soft smile evoked at the corner of her mouth. Just as she was about to call her, her brows couldn't help but wrinkle. The smiling face was full of anger, and there was a little boy standing opposite. The two seemed to be arguing. You're just a wild child without a father. Just say you, and beat you. The little boy looked arrogant. Xiao held back her tears and shouted angrily, I have a father. Shut up. You are a wild child, how can you have a father? The little boy said loudly and raised his chubby little hand to push Qin Xiao. Chapter 13. What are you doing? Qin Yi didn't have time to stop it, so she could only shout. Auntie. The tears of Xiao couldn't hold back any longer, and shouted and rushed towards Qin Yi. When the little boy saw his parents coming, how could he dare to push and laugh? Turn around and run. It's just that he was too anxious, just turned around, slipped his feet, thumped and fell. Wow. After the little boy fell, he burst into tears, attracting everyone's attention for a while. Xiao also burst into tears, crying and saying, I'm not a wild child, I have a father. Qin Yi hugged Xiao tightly, her eyes were red, and her hands gently comforted Xiaoxiu's back. Xiao is not a wild child, Xiao also has a father. Xiaodong. A pair of middle-aged men and women also rushed over, and when they saw their son fell, they felt badly distressed. The baby doesn't cry, whoever bullies you, Mom will teach you a lesson. Mom, she pushed me. The baby's fall hurts. The little boy cried and said, his little hand pointing at Qin Xiao. Qin Yu was also annoyed for a while. She saw with her own eyes that the little boy was about to push Xiao, but the little boy accidentally slipped and now bites back. Before she had time to break out, the little boy's mother angrily said to her indiscriminately, your child is simply lawless, without any education, and even dares to beat my son.